music.
Another Zach Nip production, Jones. Mr. Fingaz. Collin P from the DMV. Go Dogs. Yeah. Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope everybody's doing well, and welcome to another edition of This Weekend UGA Football. It seems like as soon as I hit the start button, my co-host got kicked out of the stream. I'm not exactly sure what happened. This is your boy coming to you live from the 405, where the wind comes whipping down the plane. My co-host Collin P from the DMV will be back in here shortly, I'm hoping. Let's see what's going on. Let me send him a quick message real quick. As soon as I hit the go button, he got kicked out of the live stream. I have no idea. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to get back in. But we're here this week, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about Georgia football. This is going to be a little bit of a short show this evening. We just wanted to come on and again and say hi to you guys, and hope everybody's been enjoying the offseason. There's been so much going on, but Collin and I decided to take a well-deserved break. Well-deserved break during the offseason. I mean, you've seen all of it. Nico Gate at Tennessee, the whole thing with the Michigan and the sign stealing and that scandal. And then Nico leaves and can't find a place to go. He goes to UCLA. Joey Aguilar goes to Tennessee. Georgia players running from Athens PD. I had to make the joke. I'm sorry. It hurts that my favorite team is just stays in some mess, but I had to make the joke because it was funny. You've seen all of that, but the games are kicking off here soon, and Georgia is back in action in just a few short days, y'all. Just a few short days. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. 1 week from this coming Saturday, Georgia is back in action. There's Collin. He's just popped in. Hey, brother, what's going on? Did your computer bite the dust?
Yes, sir. It's gone. Dead. DED dead. So I'm on my phone right now. So sorry,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's in the building, and that guy right there, he is the brother from another, the sexy mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. What it is, Showbiz. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. I had the first day of school for the B man this morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Dog, we are getting old, man. My next door neighbors, when I left and came out here, their sons were 9 and 10, and now their oldest son is in high school and about getting ready to drive.
Good gracious, man. My boy's gonna be in 8th grade. Got one more year till he's in high school. And I just thought about it. I was like, man, you only got about 4 years before you graduate. I was like, man, I said, time is a flying, man. He'll be 15 in October too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Matter of fact, when we moved in next to said next door neighbors, their youngest child was a baby in the arm carrier, and now he's about to be 14.
Oh my gosh. Man. Tell you what, as we get older, time just keeps on moving. And time keeps on sipping.
Tick tock, tick, 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 tick.
Into the future.
Yeah, your boy is not just a voiceover impresario of the mediocre kind and purveyor of all things jokes and a wonderful impersonator, Cat Williams. He might sing a little bit too. Anyway,
There you
That's
go.
what we got going on. We the singing duo. That's how I met this guy right here at karaoke.
That's
Uh,
exactly right.
and we
I do
still
miss
and we
those days, man. I miss those days.
no, you don't.
But
You don't miss them. You don't miss them hangovers. I know I don't.
I didn't say
I'm
that. I
just
said I
saying.
missed the singing with you, my partner. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
But
that part was fun. That part was most definitely fun.
yeah,
Anyway, we're gonna keep the show moving on along. Like I was telling the good people, truncated show tonight. We're just gonna come on here and give you a little something, a little tasty taste. This for us is kind of our preseason. It's a little shorter than the NFL preseason, but so today we are going to talk about today. The big news over the course of the last week was the coaches poll came out, and then behind that, the AP top 25 poll. And instead of going through the entire poll, we're basically just going to go through here. We're just going to go through here and talk about the teams from the SEC. Collin and I have divvied this up. And I think what we're going to do is, Collin, I'm going to let you go first. We're starting with number 24, Tennessee, and we're going to work our way. We're going to go back and forth. Yeah, we're going to start. We'll have you start with number 24, Tennessee. We'll go back and forth. You'll do one, I'll do one, and we'll talk about how we think they will do during the course of the season. So let's what you got on Tennessee. Finished the season 10-3, 6-2 overall in the conference. Um, 6-2 overall in the conference. Wound up getting. Did they get into the playoffs?
uh, um, I don't think they did. Did they? I think
Oh,
they.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm slow. I'm looking at I'm busy looking at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like they don't have a playoff game. Oh my God. Boy. Let's get back over here. Beep 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 beep. There it is, right there. Number 8, Tennessee. Open up. Yeah, they did get into the playoffs. You know how I know? Because guess who beat them in the first round?
Who that?
OH.
Oh, H.
IO.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I do remember that because I did have some kind of hoping. I was hoping Tennessee would take them. Have a little bit better faring than they did. I think Ohio actually whooped them. Did they? Did they whoop them?
They beat them 42-17, my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
In,
Pretty
in
good.
front of in front of over 102,000 screaming fans at the shoe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. So we got Tennessee playing Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, they picked around 13 and a half, I believe. And I'm not really sure who they had. I'm a leaver. I'm a leave you. Well, last year.
And that turned out to be a prophetic.
Exactly. I don't know who replaced him. I think we were talking about that off camera here, but I don't. And then they had Gaston Moore. I don't know. Has Gaston Moore replaced him? He was his backup.
What's that? Oh, he wound
Gaston.
up. Well, here's what happened with Nico. He wound up leaving Tennessee um, right during the middle of spring practice and everything, which really put them in a bind because the window was closed.
Right.
The window was essentially closed. He managed to get in. He left the school over NIL money and wound up signing with UCLA. And then UCLA just happened to have a quarterback. Since they got Nico, they took in Nico, and
Yeah.
their projected starter Joey Aguilar transferred to Tennessee. So Joey
Gotcha. Yeah.
Aguilar is now the starting quarterback, the projected starting quarterback for Tennessee this year. I got to be honest with you. Josh Heupel has done wonders with that program, based against what they became post Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
He's made them a contender. They're winning 10 games a season. They're amazing. I don't know. It's kind of for me. It's a wait and see with Joey Aguilar.
Yeah. I agree with that.
UCLA not necessarily known for being a power program, but you're taking a quarterback that's supposed to be better than good,
Yeah.
not yet proven great, but better than good, and putting him in the middle of that Tennessee offense. So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do, and I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on Nico to see what he's going to do at UCLA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I think jury's still out on Tennessee, as far as I'm concerned. There's several teams in the SEC, but we'll go through them. But that's kind of jury's still out in my mind. But I do believe that they will take care of Syracuse. But I don't know if they'll cover the spread. They should. It's 13.5. So
So, what are you thinking for the season? You think that Hypo manages to get them another 10 winner?
if they don't, I mean they'll be close. I think they can pull 10. I mean, if they don't pull 10, I mean they'll be right around there, 8 or 9. I mean, I
Well,
forgot.
as we know, even with the 12-team playoff, 8 or 9 in wins is not good enough to get in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Ask Alabama. I mean, Vanderbilt Vanderbilt finished 7-6 last year, and Alabama lost to Vanderbilt.
right.
And even though Vanderbilt, that loss in some people's mind was still a good loss because Vanderbilt had a better than stellar season, they still wasn't enough for them to get in because they also lost to Tennessee, and
Yeah,
then they lost to Oklahoma. And I think that was the nail in the coffin. I think
I
if
think that's it.
if Tennessee plays, uh I don't have the schedule up in front of me right now, but let's just say Tennessee has Ohio State, Clemson, and Texas on their schedule, and those are their only 3 losses, and they mollywop everybody else. They might have a shot at getting in the playoffs because those are considered quality losses, although they're still losses. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, they got Alabama in Tuscaloosa this year, so I don't know that the same thing will happen this year. So, but I agree with you. If they go through the schedule, I mean, a couple losses. If they get 10 wins, maybe. I don't know.
You don't think they'll be able to pull out 10?
Like I said, I don't think so. I think they'll be like on 9. If they'll be lucky to pull 10. I think 9. I think maybe 9, 8 or 9. I think it's gonna be like Alabama was kind of they beat them last year. I think, like I said, they're Alabama's at home this year. They've got Florida's on the come up. I think Florida may give them a test. Um, and hopefully, I mean, I hate to say, hopefully Georgia beats them. Hopefully we beat them pretty good.
Well,
But
the thing with Florida, and we'll get to them in a minute. Everybody knows the statistic by now because that's all everybody's been talking about since the all season. Florida's record with Lagway as a starter 6-1. That one game was the half game he played in the cocktail party, and as soon as he got hurt and went out,
yeah,
Georgia was able to do what they do. So the thing is that if Lagway is healthy and stays healthy, but he's been beat and banged up during the offseason. I mean, he didn't throw a ball. He didn't throw a ball until halfway, almost the end of spring practice, and right now he's in a walk. Right as of last week, he was in a walking boot and had been in a walking boot for a while. So, I mean, that guy could turn out to be another. There's something lately. There's a trend with Florida quarterbacks where they just have. They're injury prone. Look at AR-15 up in Indy. I mean,
oh yeah,
he got replaced as a starter by Danny Dimes, and that kid was injury prone too. So we
yeah.
shall see. But what else you got? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over. This is your team. You're supposed to be talking about. What else you got for me on
No,
Tennessee?
that's pretty much it, man. I mean, we bounced off of you. I mean, like I said, if they'd be lucky to get. Well, I mean, I could. This is purely my opinion, speculative. I mean, they may get 10 wins, but I think they're gonna have. Like I said, they're gonna have trouble with Alabama. They're gonna have looking at the schedule. Um, maybe we talk about Florida, talking about Vanderbilt. We'll see. There's a couple of ifs on there for me. But like I said, this the first game. I think they're going to take care of Syracuse pretty handily. But like I said, I picked them 9 wins this year. I think
You got them at 9 and you got them at 9-3.
9. Yep, 9-3. I'll think 9-3. Could be worse than that, but I think 9. I think I'll pull out 9.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and put one of those three being Georgia and Neyland
Yes, sir. I agree with that.
early in the season. There's just something Georgia has owned that program, especially since Kirby has taken over. Georgia has just said, "We got it, and we're taking it. I'll take that. Thank you very much."
Yep,
So,
exactly.
uh, so
Absolutely.
that so that's what we got with that. Let's see. Let's keep this thing going. So he's got that one. So moving on, looking at, I'm going to jump into Alabama. Last year, Alabama finished with 9 wins and 4 losses, one of those being to a very substandard Michigan Wolverines team in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And then we already mentioned the aforementioned losses to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma during the regular season. This year, bringing in junior Ty Simpson. Not a lot about him on tape, but the fans, Bama fans, are very hopeful. They have rallied behind him 100%. Kalen DeBoer has nothing but great things to say about him, and on top of that, Coach DeBoer has brought in his coordinator that was with him out on the West Coast, and we know what kind of havoc he wrecked out there at Washington. So I do think that Alabama is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I still think that there's a strong possibility that Georgia could get them when they come to Athens. And I know there's some folks out there laughing at me right now. Please let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. But I think that Georgia, with aside from a couple of lopsided games, Kirby has given Alabama a lot of grief. Even though the win-loss record does not reflect it, it's not that walk in the park that Bama has had with a lot of other teams historically. This has been, even with the game last year where Alabama was up by, I think, 3 touchdowns going into the half, and then it wound up coming down to, could we get a playoff at the end of the game? And then the SEC championship the year before, where it came down to a final play. The national championship in 2018, where it came down to a final play. The SEC championship in 2019, where it came down to a final play. Like, Kirby has figured out the formula. He just hasn't perfected it yet. The only time he got it 100% right was in the national championship in 2020.
And to be honest with you, a lot of it is self-inflicted. I mean, we cut down on the self-inflicted, turnovers and that kind of stuff. And if you look at those games you mentioned, beforehand, a lot. Not saying that they didn't beat us, they didn't beat us fully square up and down. I mean, there was a lot of turnovers, a lot of plays that have gone differently. It's all speculation, of course, but got to minimize the self-inflicted.
Like I said, there were a couple of games. The average margin of victory is 9 points.
Yeah.
9 points. Now, going through this schedule here, this one's marked on my calendar. Week 1, Bama versus Florida State, August 30th at Doak Campbell Stadium in Florida. That kid opened his mouth and gave them some bulletin board material. That's going to be trouble if they come out with the same energy they came out with last year, the 2-10 Florida State Seminoles. That's going to be trouble. They're gonna beat ULM. I'm not even looking at that. They're going to beat Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's a good team, but I think they're going to beat Wisconsin. Are they playing Wisconsin at home? That is a home game. Yeah, they're going to beat Wisconsin. Vandy comes to Bryant-Denny Stadium, aka the Saban Bowl. Mark that one on your calendars too. That's a revenge game. I look for that one to be a knockdown, drag out, or a slobber knocker, as Keith Jackson likes to call it. Missouri, that's a win. Tennessee at Bryant-Denny. Ooh, Josh, carry some Band-Aids and Bacitracin. That one's going to be ugly. Alabama at South Carolina. South Carolina has become very quietly a very dangerous place to play, especially if it's a night game. I don't see what time the game kickoff is, but if it's a night game and they open up with Sandstorm, the South Carolina fans would be really rowdy and take your momentum out of the game. If they have any kind of miscues like they did last year, South Carolina could pull that one off. I'm putting that one down as a potential loss. LSU, my family is coming to Bryant-Denny. I'm giving them that one. How many losses have I given them so far? 1. The Sooners, yeah, that's a win. Eastern Illinois, that's a win. Auburn, that's a win. I got them right now and this is very realistic. It just depends on how they come out and play. I got Alabama right now potentially at 11-1 this season.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now
I agree with
we do have a good friend who is a Vandy fan who might not be too happy with that projection, but shouts out to our guy. Um, but they I potentially got them at 11-1. That's where I've got them going. That's Alabama. So who you got for me next, bro?
that. We got the Oklahoma Sooners. Let me
Boomer,
check them out.
as they like to
Yeah,
say.
I was looking at the schedule. I mean, they've got the Illinois State, their first game. They're going to be on the Plus, SEC Plus, and the ESPN Plus. I mean, they're going to win this game, obviously. They got, but going down the schedule, man, I'm looking at. I mean, they've got Michigan, which is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're looking at Michigan, they're probably that might be a loss for them, Oklahoma. But then they got Temple and Auburn. Now, I'm not so sure about Auburn. I mean, Auburn's a kind of up or down. I mean, they've gone crazy lately, though. I don't know if you've seen the headlines. They claiming national championships, and they got coaches calling first down, and coach calling second down, and coach calling third down. it's everybody having fun on the internet, but that's what they posted on Instagram. But so Michigan, Temple. I mean, look at Auburn, and then they got Kent State in between Auburn and Texas. So I believe was in Texas #1. So I could potentially after Texas they got South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, then Bama, then Missouri. So they finish out the season with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC six SEC conference games. So that's a tough way to end the schedule. Um, I don't know, but let's see. We got Texas. I think they get beaten by Texas. You were talking about South Carolina earlier. South Carolina could probably potentially. Yeah, I think they'll beat Oklahoma. Ole Miss. It depends on what Lane Kiffin's got up his sleeve. I think they'll have. What are you thinking? I'm thinking probably it could be a possibility they could have 3 or 4 losses this year. With me, I mean they play Bama and then Missouri. So the next to last game is Alabama at Tuscaloosa. So I'm giving them what you say 9 and
You said
say
three. You said 3 losses. That would make them 9-3.
9 and 3.
Again, depending on how the chips fall, all the way around the top 25. If they're still ranked, maybe
Yeah.
not good enough to get into a bowl game.
Well, this is the first year they haven't been ranked, and I forget how many years they said, but they're not ranked in the top 25.
They are ranked in it. They're ranked in it.
Oh,
They're ranked in the AP. They just weren't
oh,
ranked in the
18. I'm
coaches.
sorry. I'm sorry. I
They're
missed
number
that.
18. They were
Yeah,
not
I
ranked
missed
in the
that.
coach. It's the first time in God knows when that they haven't been ranked in the coaches poll in the preseason,
No,
but
that's
they're
right.
ranked number 18 in the AP.
I see that now. I missed it. My bad. I was thinking the coach poll.
So that right there is your Oklahoma Sooners. We're gonna keep this thing moving along here. So we're gonna pull up to number one Texas Longhorns, who the number one Texas Longhorns. We know how things went for the Longhorns. Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers did an excellent job at quarterback. Uh, Aside from a couple of games he missed due to some injury, led the Longhorns to a 13-3 record, 7-1 in the conference. Eventually losing to Georgia in the conference championship during the regular season and in the conference championship.
Yeah,
Um, and in the conference championship. And then they beat Clemson, they beat Arizona State, and then they lost to Ohio State 14-28. We did also, this was a season where we also got to see the kid that everybody's been waiting to see play since the day he came up on his senior year of college and won Arch Manning,
yeah,
who was very good in his debut. Very good in his debut. Now, of course, they played. Who the heck did they play? He played a couple of. I won't say garbage teams. I don't have the schedule pulled up here, but still, he looked very good. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. When you're playing a team that's you're supposed to go out there and beat up on him, and that's exactly what he did. This
yeah.
year, he has the reins, and he is right now the odds-on Heisman favorite going into the season. Do I think Texas can do it again? I believe they potentially can. Let's take a look at their schedule and see what they've got. And we don't mean to rush through these. We normally try and be a little bit more detailed when we're going through these things, but we got a goal in mind here. We just wanted to give you a little something. So, where is their schedule? Where's the schedule? It's so far down. Why is it so far down? Okay, starting at, oh gosh, how could I not know what game this is? They've
Okay.
only been talking about it for weeks. The
Yeah.
number one Texas Longhorns versus the number three ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, the reigning national champion. This one right here is the game that I plan to watch.
Oh yeah.
I think the Longhorns have a shot here. They got the Buckeyes do have Julian Sayin under quarterback. He's a top rated quarterback in the 2024 recruiting class, 5-star. He was at Alabama, and then when Nick Saban retired, he flipped over to Ohio State. So he's getting a start as a very young quarterback. Now that we have as much as we tease Ryan Day about his very, very black hair and his inability to get it done in the big game, Ryan Day has proven himself to be a very skillful coach. If you don't want to believe me, just look at what he did in the postseason this past season. They got
Yeah.
to the postseason. Yes, they lost to Michigan. Shouts out to our guy, Alex Loosemore, who is still celebrating. Every time he comes on the show, it says it has been XXXS days. It doesn't even have his name. It just has the number of days it's been since that team
Yep.
down south beat that team up north. Um, so he wasn't able to get it done against Michigan. But once they got into the playoff, it was kitty bar the door. They were coming through just stealing milk money. They were stealing milk money and bicycles, man, like
Yep.
neighborhood bullies. I mean, they just kicked it up a notch, and it seemed like every game they played following that, they kicked it up another notch. So I do think this has the potential to be a shootout. Um, so right now, FanDuel has Ohio State. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not for the game. I thought those were the odds of the game. But since I brought that out, FanDuel has Ohio State
Yep.
listed at plus 600 to win the national championship.
Yeah.
I think Texas has the potential to pull that one out. Let's just play devil's advocate here. I'm going to give Texas the shocker win in the opener against Ohio State. Next game after that is UTEP. That's a win. That's 2-0. Sam Houston. That's 3-0. Florida Gators. I think that's going to be. Depends on how DJ Lagway is at this point. At this point, Lagway should have some sort of minor injury that's going to be minor enough to keep it. I'm not trying to make fun of him, but that's just where it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going. That's 4-0. They're playing the Sooners. That's 5-0. They're playing Kentucky. That should count as two games because Kentucky. But that's what he puts us at 5-4-5. Mississippi State is 6. Vanderbilt might give them some what for, but I think they'll pull it out. That's going to be 7. First loss at Sanford, 6-1. Arkansas 7-1. Texas A&M 8-1. Oh, I missed. I'm sorry, I miscounted. That's the last game. So out of 12 games, I have them dropping just the one in Athens, which would put them at 11-1. And with the performance I think they're going to put on this season, that definitely should make them a surefire lock for the college football playoff. As a matter of fact, there are only 4 teams right now that Vegas has with betting odds to make it through the season with a potentially 11 wins or more, and Texas is one of them.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't assume we are. Are we one of the 4? I don't
we,
think
we
so.
are we are also.
Oh, we are.
No, I'm sorry. It's Ohio. It's Ohio State. Watch this: Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, and Notre Dame.
Wow. Okay. Huh. I don't know. Can you think we can pull off the trifecta? And then we beat them 3 times? I don't know, man. But we'll be in Athens. We'll be in
We
Athens. So
shall
I
we
think,
shall we shall see. I mean, it would be nice if we could, because that game is going to be pivotal, and
yeah,
if not, at least go toe to toe with them, because
yeah,
there's still such a thing as quality losses in college football. We haven't gotten to the point of the NFL where when you lose, you lose. So
yeah.
but
Yep.
that's where that is. So who you got for us next, bro?
So keeping with the theme of Texas, we got A&M, the Aggies. So they got who they got first. So they got UTSA is their first game there. So we're just gonna go down the schedule here. I don't. Me too. Who's that quarterback there? Do you have that up in front of you?
I
I
do
was
not
just
have
trying to
that up
think.
in front of me, no sir.
Okay.
But you know
All
what?
right.
You go ahead and go through it, and I'll pull it
All
up.
right. All right. Cool. 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 All right. So yeah, we got UTSA. That's a win. We got Utah State. I believe that's going.
That's a win.
That that's definitely a win. And Notre Dame. That's a loss. Auburn. I believe. I don't know. Auburn's kind of a I don't know question mark for me. I think the Aggies. I think Auburn's going to win. I think Auburn's going to beat the Aggies. In Texas A&M. Mississippi State. That's a win. Florida's a loss. So we got two losses. Arkansas a win. LSU a win. Missouri. Well, I think they're going to have four losses. You got South Carolina and then Sanford to end out the season. Or then you got Texas. I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's five losses. So I would say they're what 8-5, or I'm sorry, seven, seven,
Eight and
five.
eight and five, 8-5. That's 7-5.
Yeah.
Well, hell,
Yep.
that's the running joke is that they go 7-5 every year. Since that
Yeah.
year
I
they beat
mean, it
Alabama,
makes
it's
sense.
basically the same as five. Texas A&M is going to be led by redshirt sophomore Marcel Reed.
Okay.
He last year threw for 1,864 yards and 15 touchdowns. Also ran for 547 and 7 touchdowns on the ground. So he's a bit of a dual threat quarterback.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like there's a lot of meat on the bone with their schedule. So that is, I mean, who did you say the losses were going to be to?
I'll go with the bottom. I would say Texas, and I would say South Carolina, and then I said Florida. I said Notre Dame. But I mean, this is their losses. So not
Where
necessarily.
in the season are they? Where in the season are they playing Florida?
Pretty much in the middle. So they've got
That's a win. That's a
non-conference,
win.
non-conference,
That
non-conference
I,
Notre Dame, then Auburn, Mississippi State, then Florida. So
I
they're
am.
go ahead.
I'm giving them. I'm giving them that Florida game as a win. I hate to speak things into existence, but I think by then Lagway is going to have some kind of injury. So
It's in
and
Gainesville,
we
so
know and it doesn't matter.
yeah. That's
If Lagway is not 100%, they don't win that game. It's just that has been the trend. Now he
yeah.
could surprise us, but just go and all we have to go off of right now is what we've seen in the past until it is proven different.
That's
So
very true. That's
by
very true.
yeah by mid season he's going to have some kind of nagging, lingering injury, and or may get hurt and won't be able to finish the game. So that's I give them that. So that would put them at 8-4. Good record, better than their traditional 7-5, but still not good enough to get into the playoffs. So far, who do we have in the playoffs right now? Just Texas? Is that it?
So far, yeah.
Okay. Well, next up, we got the team that they love to call the Corn Dogs. That being LSU, the LSU for true, my share. Last year they finished 9-4, 5-3 in the conference. Brian Kelly in his third season. They were able to keep coach staff relatively intact. They finished the win with win in the Texas Bowl over Baylor. Not bad at all. So let's see, what do they got here? This is last season's schedule. They did kick the season off with a surprising loss to USC. That was one that people had them slated to win. And then they got back losses at a very crucial time to A&M, Alabama, and Florida.
Yeah.
And then they were able to close the season out with 3 wins over Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and Baylor, although those three were not that difficult at that stage in the season because at that point Oklahoma had all but thrown in the towel. I think they spent all of their energy in the win over Alabama. Baylor not as powerful as they used to be, and Vanderbilt was waning a little bit in at the end of as November was drawing to a close. Moving into the 2025 season, it's a good thing they don't have divisions in the conference anymore because they really would might be struggling. So here we go. So we're starting off the season opening up with them. I ain't giving them a loss. See what you say about Dabo, but Dabo is one of top I would say top 10 coaches out of the 136 in uh, at the FBS level.
Yeah.
No, and they're starting the season ranked number 4. I think Clemson's going to take care of business. Then they've got in order Louisiana Tech, Florida, Southeastern Louisiana. Of those 3, I think there's a potential to drop one to Florida, but I still think they pull it out, and I don't see them losing to Southeast Louisiana, Louisiana Tech. So that's a 3-1 after 4 games, and then they close out the month of September at Ole Miss in at Ole Miss Stadium. You're playing in Lane Kiffin's territory where they, Popcornville. Get your popcorn ready.
Right.
I'm giving them a loss. So that's 3-2 coming out of September. Then you've got a scrappy Beamer Ball, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M. Who did you say won again? You said Texas A&M was going to lose to LSU. Okay, so
Yep.
LSU gets a win there. South Carolina is a toss-up. For devil's advocate purposes, I'm giving that one to LSU. Vanderbilt, I think Vanderbilt pulls off a shocker in Tennessee against LSU. So that now gives them 2 losses after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. That puts them at 6-2. I do not see them winning at Bryant Denny. That is 6-3, which would effectively, unless something goes sideways, would put them out of the playoffs. But they're going to beat Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and Oklahoma. So
Yeah.
that gives them another 9-3 season. Don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they should at least get a ball game. They should at least get a ball game. Right now, we've got Ted. Look from the win losses we have. Looks like we got Texas as the number 1 contender for the SEC championship game. Who you got, brother?
Number 1 contender for SEC championship game.
No. I mean, who you got up next?
Oh, I'm sorry. So we got Ole Miss talking about Lane Kiffin. So my bad. I was just in there reading. So we're just speaking of Lane Kiffin. So we got Ole Miss, which last year they had 3 losses last year. One being Kentucky, one being LSU, one being Florida. So they had 3 conference losses. Rest of wins. So who they got coming up this season? They had Georgia State, which is a win. Kentucky, that was a loss they had. Yeah, they lost 20-17 last year. Kentucky. This year's going to be at Kentucky, so I think
That's a
they'll
win.
win. That's a win. Yeah.
I think they'll win at Heinz Field. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Mark Stoops has done, I think, all he can do with that program, and they just don't have the NIL resources to compete with some of these other schools in the
Yeah.
conference.
I would. Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. So they got Georgia State win, Kentucky win, Arkansas
Kroger Field.
win.
I said Heinz Field. That's Heinz Field is Pittsburgh. Correction. I'm
It's
sorry.
Pittsburgh.
At Kroger Field, Kroger Stadium. Hey man, remember that commercial back in the day? Let's go Kroger ring for the best of everything, including the whatever it was. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, I was
Random
thinking
moments.
Piggly Wiggly. I was thinking Piggly Wiggly and Pick and Save, man. That's what I grew up on.
If you have no time to waste, you're in the right place. You're in the right Piggly Wiggly, Piggly Wiggly. Oh my
Oh my
God!
gosh,
Please keep talking before I start singing more jingles.
we have
Please.
a fantastic memory, dude. Anyways, all right. So we got Kentucky. All right, so I say they're 2-0. Then go Arkansas. It'll be 3-0. Tulane 4-0. LSU. That might be a good game. That's a toss up for me. I think they're going to win that. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0. Washington State. Washington State. That's a win. Georgia loss. Oklahoma win. South Carolina. That could be a good game. You know what? I think I'll give them a loss on that. So 2 losses, Georgia and South Carolina. Citadel win. Florida. Your point about Lagway. I think that's a win. I think that's a win. So they have 2 losses, and Mississippi State's another win. So I give them. So what's that? That's 2
10 and
losses.
10
10
and
and 2.
2.
10 and
10
2.
and 2 for the LSU Tigers. So that makes them a
No, for
contender
Ole Miss. Ole Miss.
for
Ole
Ole Miss.
Miss.
I'm sorry. 10 and 2 for Ole Miss, and we got Texas at 12 and 1. The funny thing is we're just kind of running through these and we're not writing them down. So we may be we may be crossing the streams of some of these games. You say South Carolina's gonna win this game, and then I come back and say, nope, they're gonna lose that game. So next time we do one of these projections, we need to start writing them down.
Yeah.
But moving on, we've mentioned this team a couple of times. Their coaches kind of turned things around a little bit with the program. They're not they're not as good as the days of the old ball coach Steve Spurrier, but they still got. Oh my God! I just called the name of the song before. That song. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh,
But
I know what song you're saying.
but yeah, they've got that, and they've got they have become a place to be one of the most intimidating places to play at night. Not the most, but one of, especially when you get those fans waving those towels there. Moving on, we're on to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Shane Beamer in his fourth season has definitely created an atmosphere of winning. Maybe not championships, but they're definitely not, they're not the kind of a laughing stock they were for a little bit when they were after old ball coach left. But they're definitely they're winning 8-9 games a season, and they weren't winning that many before. 9-4 last season, 5-3 in the SEC. Finished their season postseason with a loss to Illinois in the Citrus Bowl. They did win the Palmetto Bowl, which is, I don't know who they play in the Palmetto Bowl, but let's see here. So their losses were to LSU, Ole Miss, and Alabama. Understandably so, with big wins over Kentucky, big conference wins over Kentucky, Oklahoma. They trounced Texas A&M. The Vanderbilt game that wound up 28-7, and they beat Clemson. That's the Palmetto Bowl. They wound up beating Clemson, who was favored in that game because they were Clemson at that point was ranked number 12 in the country. Let's see. They were ranked number 15 at that point, and Clemson was ranked 12. So the underdog beats the eventual Clemson wound up going on into the CFP. So now, right now, they're ranked number 13 in the AP preseason poll. And here's their schedule. I got the Virginia Tech is horrible. They're going to beat Virginia Tech. They're going to beat South Carolina State. Might be a game to watch, just because their coach, South Carolina's coach, Chennisberry. I mean, I can see Sean right now, like, come on, Handy. Come on. Really? Handy? But their coach, Chennisberry, has got those guys ready to rock and roll. And they're playing South Carolina State. A little bit of history there. Their coach, I've said this before for those of you that may not have heard it, back in the late 80s, there was a coach, the mid 80s, there was the coach of South Carolina State was a man by the name of Bill Davis Sr. Bill Davis Sr. took a contract and left South Carolina State, drove down the coast to the College by the Sea, Savannah State College, where he coached future Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp. He was the coach when the one-time Savannah State made the playoffs in their division, which at that time I think was SIAC, the Southern Intercontinental Southern Something Athletic Conference. They wound up losing in the first round, but it was the greatest season in the history of Savannah State football. And of course, we all know how Shay went on to fare in the NFL. And then just a couple of weeks ago, got to induct his brother finally into the Hall of Fame, which was a very touching moment.
Absolutely.
So South Carolina State, they're a great team, and they're playing in Columbia. So they're literally in-state rivals. That might be a game worth watching to check out. Next week against Vanderbilt in South Carolina. I think Vanderbilt's looking at that as a revenge game. For the sake of this one, I'm going to give that one to Vanderbilt. So that's 2-1, 3-1 against Missouri, 4-1 against Kentucky, 4-2, losing to LSU in Baton Rouge. 5-2, they're playing Oklahoma in South Carolina. 5-3, Alabama comes to Bryce Williams, although that stadium is going to be loud and full of white towels.
Yes, it is.
I think Ole Miss. I'm going to give that one to South Carolina. So I'll give them 6-3. 6-4, I think, against them when they play Texas A&M. They're going to beat Coastal Carolina, which will give them 7-4.
Yeah.
And then closing out the season with the Palmetto Bowl. You know what? I think they might get Clemson again. I'm going to give them 8-4. That gives them 8-4, which is an improvement on 8-4 altogether. Won't be good enough to make the playoffs, but that will be good enough to get them a postseason bowl bid. Till we go from there. That's South Carolina and the Gamecocks. So who you got up next, sir?
And to finish it out, we were talking about them Longhorns. So we the Texas Longhorns, I don't think we went to their schedule yet. As we all know, they had 2 losses last year, and we all know who it was to. So it was Georgia and then Georgia at the end of the season.
We
and
did.
then,
I did them to start off.
Oh, did you? All right,
Yeah.
that's you had
That
me
was-
Ole Miss. Ole Miss is my last one, dude.
Okay. Ole Miss is your last one?
Last one, yeah. We just went through that one, yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, Ole Miss was your last one? Well,
Yep.
Well, then why don't you? Because I gotta. Oh, that's the only reason I got that pulled up is because I want to talk about something else.
Yep.
And you talked about them. I had them pulled
Yep.
up just so I could follow along. Okay, so then that means I got the last one, which of course you all know and you all love, but no one loves them more than we do. And there's no better way than to introduce this team but by.
What's that coming down the track? What's that coming down the track? It's the mean machine in the red and black. It's the mean machine in the red and black. Nothing finer in the land. Nothing finer in the land. Than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Obnoxious Georgia fan. Go dogs! Go dogs! Go dogs!
That makes me want to jump out of my chair every time I hear it.
Absolutely. Me too, man. Me too. Can't get this show started any quicker, man. I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Dogs, as we know, they wound up finishing the season 11-3, 6-2 in the SEC. Won the SEC championship game at 22-19 in overtime over Texas, which was their second victory over Texas this season. Wound up making it to the CFP and losing in the Sugar Bowl to Notre Dame. The irony. For those of you that aren't following, those of you that may not have been into football at that time or too young to have seen the game, Georgia's first national championship during my lifetime, the 1980 season of the undefeated Dogs. They went 10-0. That was when they were still playing 10 games a season, led by none other than the legendary, the legendary Herschel Walker, a freshman phenom out of Wrightsville, Georgia, who did not win the Heisman that season, which was a shocker to everybody. He did eventually win it. I think it was I don't think they gave it to him until his junior season, which really he still was phenomenal, but that wasn't his best season. His best season, hands down, was freshman and sophomore. But they played Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, and that was where we won our national championship. That national championship. Kirby Smart back for his ninth season. I do believe the winningest coach in the SEC currently, with more than 5 or 6 seasons. What am I looking at right here? That's that. And then so that's how they finished out the season. And we all know about the problems with the pass game because receivers, we had the most drops by wide receivers that season. Carson, knowing that he did not have the support of his wide receivers, and then what was a hodgepodge offensive line because a couple guys got injured. Tate Ratledge got injured about 4 or 5 games into the season, missed a couple games. So he may have rushed a few throws. He threw more interceptions than he did the prior season. But that somehow or another, the Dogs managed to make it happen. And then, of course, their losses were during the regular season. They lost to Alabama at Bryant-Denny. They lost at Ole Miss in Oxford. And then they did not lose again until losing to Notre Dame at the Sugar Bowl. So moving on to the regular season for 2025. We all know that the Dogs start their season against Marshall. That's a win. That's 1-0, 2-0
Yep.
RCD. Their next game, the third week, is September 13th. That is when they enter into conference play against the Volunteers at Neyland Stadium. As long as there aren't any golf balls or mustard bottles on the thrown from the stands, I think Georgia comes away from that one with a win. So that's 3-0. And then the date that every Alabama fan has circled on their calendar to include our potential guest, a guest who potentially will be coming on our Monday show that week of the. We may
Yep.
have two guests, by the way, sir.
Oh, cool.
And he's got his page back if you want to check him out. So we may have a guest on our show that week prior to the Bama game. I'm going to come back to that when I'll go through the rest of them. So we're at 3-0. There's a win in Kentucky. A win. Kentucky comes to Athens. That's a win. At Auburn and Jordan Hare. That's a win. At Ole Miss, I'm giving that one a win. Florida, that's a win. Mississippi State's a win. Texas, I will come back to. Charlotte is a win. Georgia Tech is a TBD. I'm gonna say that's a win. So that right now has Georgia at 10-0. And then depending on I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm giving Georgia 11-1. It's just hard for me to say if they're going to lose to Texas or to Alabama.
Alabama.
I think
Yeah,
I think they beat Bama in Athens and lose to Texas, which would hurt because both of those are home games, and either way, the home streak would be broken.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you totally. Those are two question marks for me. I mean, I probably said something different the last week, but yeah, I don't know. And just a fun fact: remember that Georgia Tech game is at Mercedes this year. I believe that's right. That Georgia Tech game. I believe that's right. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. But yeah, so I'm saying Texas is going to be a tough game. Alabama, I think we do win against Alabama in Athens. So I would, yeah. I mean, I can, yeah, 11-1. I say 11-1, potentially 10-2. I would feel more strongly
Now,
toward 11-1 though. So
bear in mind we're going off of what we know of Georgia from last year. Also, bear in mind some of the things Collin and I talked about last week. There's some depth as far as experienced players on both sides of the ball. And that depends on cohesion. Now, one thing that we know is Kirby is probably hands down the best head coach, actively coaching in college football right now, and he's a master at adjustments, especially second half adjustments. Don't believe me? See Georgia versus Alabama last year. That game wound up being a lot closer than we thought it was going to be after the first half. So those are I'm definitely thinking. I think they get Bama this go around.
I think so too.
Matter of fact, with a little bit of luck and a lot of go dog spirit, they may run the table.
That'd be nice.
I want to believe it. I want to believe it, but we know that our guy, get your popcorn ready. We know he's not one to be trifled with. We know Texas is going to be good, and we know Bama is coming for blood this year after not making the playoffs last year.
The only thing that would help that case is we've got more home games than we did last year. So I mean that could work in our favor.
And I think and the reason for that is because we have the home and home now. We have the home and home series. So basically all the games we played, all the conference games we played last year, we're playing those same teams again this year. It's just they're flipping the stadiums. And we only had we didn't have a home game from like September to almost November, I think, last year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had a long stretch there.
So yeah, dude, we made really good time tonight coming through this. And we're right up against it. So I honestly, I'm just looking forward to a great season. This episode wasn't specifically about Georgia. We just kind of wanted to talk about the odds of the teams in the conference that were ranked in the top 25 and their potential to make the playoffs. And based off what we just rattled off, right now, we're right back to Georgia, Texas, a rematch of Georgia, Texas in the SEC championship. with the undefeated versus the one loss.
Yeah.
And with the undefeated with the versus one loss. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to have to flip that because I said that we were beating Texas when I did Texas on the front end. So the one loss would beat Alabama, but we would still get into the playoffs with an 11-1 record and wind up facing off against the Longhorns.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. If that's how it plays out, that would be something, wouldn't it? We beat Texas and then we play them again. We play them again in the conference championship. That would be something. That would be amazing.
Strong, baby.
That would be absolutely amazing. So that's what we've got right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, next week we're going to start getting a little more in depth because at that point, matter of fact, bruh, we got a show in 4 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Our next show is in 4 days. So we're getting ready for the regular season because week 0 is this weekend. And then week 1 is next weekend. So when you see us again, we'll be talking about what we need to do to get ready. I mean, it's not a whole lot that we need to do to play Austin P, but there's some things that we need to focus on and what we'll be looking at. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, how about that? That's wild. We actually managed to finish on time.
We'll definitely go more in depth next week. We're gonna get in there and go because I'm excited to see we've had a lot of activity in the portal, more probably than we have in any season, and seeing the new guys on the team and see how our receivers are faring. And of course we got to talk about Gunner, man. We got to see what's going on with him. So, but we'll do all that next week.
Of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, how about the air horn for us getting out of here on time today? We got to get the air horn. But that does it for us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you joining this episode of This Week in UGA Football. Collin, we did pretty good for a couple of guys who cobbled this show. We cobbled this show together in like 15 minutes. He came on, he was in the green room. I said, this is what we're doing. We knocked it right on out of the park. We appreciate y'all for checking us out. We will be back on Monday. And we're going to have to start sticking to that schedule because it's football season and all of us are going to be all over the place with other shows as well. So make sure you check those out. And matter of fact, while you're doing that, check out in the description underneath this video because it's only airing on YouTube. Make sure you go and check out all of our affiliate programs. They're all amazingly awesome. As a matter of fact, after this and I log off, I've got a meeting with the ladies from the Ladies Talk Football show, which is another awesome show that you need to check out. They'll be airing on Thursdays. Anyway, we got to get out of here on behalf of myself and Collin P. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all take care of yourselves. And you know what? I am going to close this out. I mean, we're going to say goodbye the way that we introduced our dogs.
What's that coming down the track?
What's that coming down the track?
It's the mean machine in the red and black.
It's the mean machine in red and black.
Nothing finer in the land.
Nothing finer in the land.
Than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Obnoxious Georgia fan.
Go dogs! Go dogs!
Go dogs!
And with that, go dogs.
Go dog.